Hi, I'm Cecilia. Welcome to the third day of the 12 days of Christmas. And I hope you have watched the previous 2 days of Christmas, as it has given a good background of what we are going to discuss today. And for more of me, remember to check out my Instagram and also check out my website or blog to know more of who I am and what I stand for. On this third day of Christmas, we're going to look at the importance of the genealogies that are given to us from the two books in the Bible, that is Matthew and also in Luke, that are given in the narrative of the birth of Jesus Christ. We are going to discuss the importance of these genealogies to us or to the people at that time, because we know that recording of your ancestry was very important in the among the people of Israel. So we know that in Matthew, the genealogy focuses on his father, that is Joseph, the father of Jesus, and in Luke it focuses on the mother, that is Mary, and where he descended from. And both of them are descended from Abraham, and both of them are descended from David. So the genealogies that have been given both focuses on the parents of Jesus. So we know that with Matthew, he focuses on the genealogy of Jesus from his father, the line of his father, that is Joseph. But in Luke, he focuses on the genealogy through the line of his mother, that is Mary. We know that all of them are descended from Abraham and all of them are descended from David. But with Joseph, he descends from David through his son Solomon, and with Mary, he descends from his son Nathan. When you look at those two genealogies, you will see the differences in both. And probably I should read some and point it out to you. Like in Matthew, we see that at the point where David is introduced in verse 6, we are told that David was the father of Solomon by the wife of Uriah. So that is where the distinction comes in. And when we look at Luke in chapter 3, where we look at the son of David, we are told that we are told in verse 31, Luke chapter 3 verse 31, that the son of Leah, the son of Menah, the son of Mattah, the son of Nathan, the son of David. So here we are being told about Nathan, the son of David, not Solomon. And that's why the two of them are different in that way, that the Luke one is on to Mary, the mother, but the Matthew one is on Joseph, the father. So the importance of the genealogies, one was to showcase the passing on of the messianic line from Abraham all the way to now Jesus Christ. So we have seen that it went through Abraham, his sons, then David and his sons, and then it came to now Joseph, and now we had Joseph and Mary, and now we have Jesus Christ. It was important because it was promised, the promised Messiah was to come from the line of Abraham. It was important for them to record the descendants of Abraham so that they may see and they may keep in touch with the son who was born, either if the son would be the one to establish the kingdom, or the son will be the one to liberate them and save them from this world. And you see that it was important for them to keep the genealogy because for them to track down the messianic line. Another thing, it was mostly linear and focused on one person of the family. We know that Abraham did not just have one son, and we know also David did not just have one son. There was many sons that he had, but only two of them were used for passing on, that messianic promise that of the offspring that was to come, of the one who was to establish the kingdom forever. We know of Solomon and also of Nathan, the sons of David, that both of them were used in this messianic line, but we're not told of any other generation whereby two sons of the same father were used. So it was linear mostly. And also it gives a record of how the plan of salvation panned out, knowing how it came from the promise from Adam all the way to Abraham, all the way to David, and now to the coming Messiah, who is Jesus Christ. So it helps them, record and see how the promise was coming to life. And also the other thing is it shows who God chose, or the divine election of God on who was to be the ancestor, who was to be the forefather of Jesus Christ, of the Messiah who was to come. So we know that Abraham was chosen, and some of his sons, we know Isaac was chosen, Jacob was chosen, and then Judah was chosen because David descends from from the tribe of Judah. Yes, David descends from the tribe of Judah, and all the way through to Joseph and also to Mary. So it also showed the those who were elected, those who were chosen by God to be in the line of Jesus Christ. Also, we know of Ruth, in the book of Ruth, he was not an Israelite, and also of his husband Boaz, they were both chosen by God to be among the descendants of Jesus Christ. And also we know of Tamar, back in the book of Genesis, with him and Judah and one of their sons being a part of the plan of the offspring who was to liberate the humankind. So we are able to see, those who were called or who were elected by God to be part of the descendants or the ancestry of Jesus Christ. And also the record of the genealogy also reminds the people of the hope that God had gave them, reminds them of the promise that he had given to them that a Messiah was going to come. So keeping record helps them remind or remember that that promise still stands. It has not yet been fulfilled. Like they thought it would be fulfilled in Solomon, but not. Then they thought it would be fulfilled in someone else, but none of those sons of King David fulfilled that promise. And also throughout the generations they were waiting, but none of them came up. But now the search stopped with Jesus Christ coming to the world, because now the promise has been fulfilled. So they were able to keep up with the sons and know that who is it among the line of David will be the king that will establish this kingdom forever. And also the people will be able to follow up and check when the promise is fulfilled, because if Jesus Christ had come like 3 generations after David, probably it would have stopped there. Genealogy would have stopped there, but no, it kept on going so that they would know with whom and at what point or time will the promise be fulfilled, or the king who was to come will be revealed to them, and the Messiah would come and liberate them from the oppression that they were having at the time. So keeping the record will help them maintain the hope, maintain that when God has promised something, he will surely bring it into fruition. And keeping a record of the sons that were being born would help them keep that hope alive. What can we take from this? Just understanding that we need also to have a way in which we can record and record the promises, or the prayers that we've made to God, and seeing how God brings it into fruition. Because just mentioning it and forgetting about it, you will not remember or know to give thanks, because you don't know when it was fulfilled or at what circumstances was it fulfilled. But having a record of your prayer items, or having a record of the promises of God that he has promised you, you are able to remember that it has been fulfilled, or God has answered this prayer, and by that we are able to keep hope alive, and also be able to have that heart of gratitude, knowing that these things that I've prayed for before, these things that I've asked of God, these promises that God has made to be, they are actually being fulfilled, and I'm able to see the evidence of it. That has been the discussion for today on the 3rd day of the 12 days of Christmas. And remember to check out my Instagram and also my blog to know more of who I am and what I stand for. And until tomorrow when we see each other again, goodbye and God bless you.